Good morning, good morning, good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, and welcome back to my Reconnect series. This is my free live weekly training where I give you some helpful tips and hints to help you negotiate life, business, and just generally make things easier for you. So I'm just going to see who comes on live, see who's going to be joining me, see who's going to be, joining me today. And if you're joining on live, let me know if you're here live. And if you're joining me on replay, let me know if you're here on replay. I just like to see who's watching, who's catching up, and generally, whether these things are really helpful. So we're here today really to talk about saying no. This is something that a lot of people struggle with, and it's something that I used to struggle with myself. So I just want to make sure I can see myself. I can see the comments. Yes, I can. Way. So I just wanted to talk really about learning to say no. As I say, this is something that I struggled with, and it is something that a lot of women struggle with. So I just want to really give you some of my helpful tips and hints to help you say no and to help you learn that crucial little world. Sorry, I'm just looking at the monitor to make sure that I can see the comments as they're coming up. So yes, saying no. Saying no is one of the best things that you can learn how to do for yourself. So how many of you sort of wish you'd put your foot down sometimes and said no, or wish you could put your foot down and say no? Many of us feel compelled, don't we, to say yes to every single request. And we'd rather juggle a million jobs and, spin millions of plates rather than refuse to help somebody, even if that means we're left with no time for ourselves, or we're just going, completely overwhelmed, I can't do it all. So many of us struggle to say no, but learning to say no can earn you not just self-respect, but earn you respect from others. So learning to say no is a crucial skill in life and business. So why do we continue to say yes when we know we should say no? Now, it could be that we believe that saying no is possibly uncaring, even selfish, and we may have a fear of letting other people down. We may have a fear of being disliked or criticised or risking our friendship by saying no. But interestingly, the ability to say no is actually tied up really closely linked with your self-confidence. People with low self-confidence and low self-esteem often feel nervous about saying no, and nervous about antagonizing other people as well. Therefore, they tend to rate other people's needs above their own. So we put ourselves last, we put other people first, even if it means we've been put to inconvenience, but we're just, I can't say no because what will they think of me? How will they react? So women in particular are prone to falling into this trap. And it's really important when you're running a business, a soul-aligned business, where you want to serve other people to the best of your ability, keep your energy high, that you learn how to say no. Now, many women, Marcy, I wish my husband learned to say no to other people. It is a skill. Lovely to see you, by the way. You may have been raised as, particularly for women, the good girl or the good son, the good boy who always does what they're told. Don't keep up with us. Do what you're told. And these childhood influences are a key to the formation of our beliefs about who we are. So we might find ourselves thinking, I'm only lovable if I'm compliant and helpful. And then that leads us into becoming a people pleaser. We can't say no because people aren't going to like us if we say no. So your self-worth then becomes dependent on what you can do for other people. And that then develops a vicious cycle in which people expect us to be there for them all the time and comply with their wishes. They expect us not to say no. And then we feel we can't say no because that then feeds in our self-worth that these other people need us. They need me, therefore I need to be like this to be lovable. So, but being unable to say no, let's face it, can leave us feeling absolutely exhausted. It can leave us feeling completely and utterly wore out, stressed, irritable. It can leave us to feeling resentful and put upon, and then we start getting angry about it, but we can't express that anger. So, and it could be, it can undermine your efforts to improve the quality of life. If you spend hours worrying about how to get out of already promised commitments, for instance, you've already said you're going to do something, you said yes in the spur of the moment, and now you're thinking, how on earth am I going to get out of that? How on earth can I, get out of the thing that I'm committed to? And it's particularly important, not just a life skill, it's a life and business skill, saying no. Then you might find yourself, for instance, taking on clients who are not a good fit for your service, or you have business relationships or projects that involve you giving so much more and not actually receiving in return. So learning to say no is crucial. Don't wait until your energy is really rock bottom and runs out before you take a much needed step back to assess where you're saying yes, where actually you should be saying no. So I've got 5 very simple tips, 5 simple tips to help you say no. And these are really, I would encourage you to embody these and try them out with abandon. Just go for it. Learn to say no. So tip number 1, keep your responses simple. If you want to say no, be firm and direct. Use phrases like this, such as, thanks for coming to me, but I'm afraid it's not convenient right now. I'm sorry, I can't help with this evening. Be strong in your tone of voice and in your body language if you're present with people. Remember, you are not asking permission to say no. You can say no anytime you like. Now, if you need to buy yourself a little time, this is tip number 2, buy yourself some time. So interrupt the yes cycle when you can find yourself about to say, yes, I'll do that. Use phrases instead like, I'll get back to you. Then you have time to consider your options. You can say, how quickly do you need to know? But buy some time. Having a thought about it then and being able to step back, you will be able to say no with greater confidence. You'll be able to, no, I can't do that now. But you don't have to explain yourself and you don't have to ask permission. Now, maybe possible to consider a compromise. This is tip number 3. Now, only do so if you want to agree with the request, but have limited time or ability to do so. Then you can agree to a compromise. But don't agree to a compromise if it's not, if it's outside that parameter. So agree to a compromise if you have a limited ability or time to meet the request. So you can then suggest ways forward which suit you both. So, we could do this on this time, or I can commit that amount of time. But avoid compromising at all costs if you really want to say no. Use tips 1 and 2. Right. And it's really important as well. This is tip number 4. Separate refusal from rejection. Remember, you're turning down a request, not a person. You're saying no to what they're asking you to do, or you're saying no to a client who wants to come on your program, who is not going to be a good fit, and there's going to create problems further down the line. You are saying no to a request to work with you, or a request for your help, or a request for your time. So you are turning down that request, not a person. And usually most people understand that you have a right to say no, just as it's their right to ask a favour. They are asking a favour, or they are asking to come on your program, and you have absolute right to refuse them. That's just how it is. And you're not rejecting them, you're just rejecting that request. And tip number 5 is be true to yourself. Be clear and absolutely honest with yourself about what you truly want. And get to know yourself better and examine what you really want from life. Now, this is so crucial in business and success, is that you actually know yourself, who you are, where your skills lie, and examine what you really want from life. And if the things that are coming to you, or the people that come into you, the requests, the favours, do not fit into that plan, then you can see that you're wasting time, you're wasting energy, you're wasting resources. They're not getting you to your A game. This is not selfish. This is you expressing who you are as a soul, and you have every right to do so. So those are my 5 top tips for saying no. Number 1, keep your response simple and to the point. You don't need permission to say no. Buy yourself some time. I'll get back to you. Just gives you time to think and come back with your no with more confidence when you've gathered yourself together. Consider a compromise, but only if you have limited time and ability to do the request, not if you really want to say no. Separate refusal from rejection. You are not rejecting a person. They will still like you. They will still be your friend just because you've said no on this particular time. And be true to yourself. If you are complying or being inundated with requests that really don't fill you with joy and are not part of your soul's path, your plan, then you need to examine who and what you are making yourself available for. Do not make yourself available for the stuff that doesn't serve you and the people that don't support you. So that's my quick live today on 5 key tips to help you say no. I'm Faye Semple. I am a spiritual and energy coach, and this has been Reconnect, and I hope to see you all again soon. Take care then. Bye.